Hey, good morning everybody. Tim the Drop Man. Today is Thursday, September the 4th, and it is officially the first day of football. No, not football like all you other people think about. American football. So today, I'm going to throw a few darts, I'm going to talk some American football, and I'm going to give you my predictions on who's going to win all 16 games, and including one very, very surprise prediction, which I think a lot of you might say, that would be quite an upset. Let's find out who that is. Tim the Dart Man, let's throw some games and start the predictions. All right. So the first game that everyone has on their mind, right, is the Cowboys and the Eagles. So the Eagles, defending Super Bowl champs, they're back, and they're taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So a lot of you probably don't realize this, but the Dallas Cowboys just got rid of one of their great pass rushers, and his name is Micah Parsons. He was traded to the Green Bay Packers, and so they're going to be down one of their star players to begin with. And not that they had much of a chance against the Eagles, really. It's going to be a rout. The Eagles are going to take this one. They're probably going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. So that's my prediction. Eagles by at least 2 touchdowns. Wait a minute. Yes! Nice 140 there. Not bad. I don't feel like 9 darts. So that's game 1. Cowboys, Eagles, Eagles take it. Game 2, Bears and the Vikings. So, little interesting one here because the Vikings have been pretty damn good as of late. And they've had a few quarterback changes, but they're still playing pretty good football. But this year, I think it's finally the year that the Bears come back and start to play like the '85 Bears, or as they were called, the Bears. So the Bears are going to take this one. They're going to take it in Minnesota, and they're going to win this game, squeak it out by a field goal at most. So that's a little upset, but that's not the major upset. We'll get to that. The next game I'm going to talk about is the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Well, I gotta tell you, I really love George Kittle of the 49ers. He's a tight end, he's a big dude, he's a very funny dude. If you have Netflix, watch the series Receivers on Netflix. George Kittle's on there, and he seems like a really cool dude. But they're on the downslide, the 49ers. And this is not the year that they're going to come back. In fact, I think they're going to do probably as poor this year as they've done in many years. So for that reason, I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks to win this game, and I'm going to say it's going to be by 10 points. So Seahawks by 10 over the 49ers. All right. The next game, game number 4 on my list, is the Ravens and the Bills. So this is a banger right off the bat. Both two really good American Football Conference teams, both in the discussions for who could make the Super Bowl this year. And I gotta tell you, I racked my brain a little bit on this, and they are playing in New York, in Buffalo. And I still think, though, that the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, are going to go in there and they're going to find a way to come out with a win. And what's it going to look like? It's going to look really close. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think you're going to be looking at something along the lines of, maybe 35, 37, something along those lines. But I think the Ravens will find a way to win this. So in Buffalo, Baltimore Ravens over the Buffalo Bills. And I got to tell you, I'm more of a Buffalo Bills fan than I am a Baltimore Ravens fan. But that's the way this one's going to go. And the number 5 game on my list is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers. Well, here's the thing. Kansas City's been a great football team since they brought Patrick Mahomes on to be quarterback. And he's been outstanding. You really can't say anything bad about the guy. But here's what I will say. This is not going to be the Kansas City Chiefs year. It would be nice, we'd make a nice story how they keep coming back and they keep getting to the AFC Championship, they keep going to Super Bowls. It's not going to be this year. Unfortunately, between a combination of just bad luck and potentially some injuries, I think the Chiefs are not going to make it very far in the playoffs at all. And it's going to start out with, get this, an upset win, the Chargers over the Chiefs by no more than 3 points. Probably a score of maybe 24-21, something along those lines, but the Chargers beating the Chiefs. That is my tremendous upset for the week. You heard it here first. Let's see what happens. Next game, well, it's kind of a snooze fest, to be honest with you. It is the Raiders against the Patriots. Now, I'm originally from New England, and I've been a New England Patriots fan for a long time, and I still really like the Patriots. I kind of went with Tom Brady to the Buccaneers as far as being a fan, who's my favorite team, because I followed Tom. Tom is great. He's always been great. He is the GOAT. And when he went to the Buccaneers, I put all my focus on the Bucs, less on the Patriots. But in this game, the Raiders, not a good team. Tom Brady is actually a partial owner in the Raiders, for some of you who didn't know. And he will be playing against his old team, or his team will be playing against his old team, and the Patriots will come out with the win. I'm going to say it's a low-scoring game, potentially 14-10, something along those lines. And the Patriots will get win number 1 for the season. So there it is. Not a very exciting game to watch. If there's something else on TV, I'd switch to it. Talking about an exciting game to watch, here's an exciting game. The Lions and the Packers. Well, 2 great teams, right? As of late, the Lions have been a great team. Some have it as their favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. The Packers are a perennial great team. And this year, as I mentioned in the beginning, they've acquired Micah Parsons. Well, Micah Parsons has been acquired from the Cowboys and is now going to be a Green Bay Packer. And I think he's going to fit in so smoothly there, almost like he was there all along. They'll make a custom cheese head for him. And I think in this one, I'd like to see the Lions win, just because I like that team. I think they got a lot of class. But in this case, the Packers will come away with the win. I think it'll be another, fairly high-scoring game, maybe 31-28 Packers. And not to say that the Lions don't have a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year, because I really think they do. But first game in the season, playing in Green Bay, Packers will take this over the Lions. So we come to another sleeper, another game which, if there's something else on TV, switch to it and don't watch this. But it's the Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. So, you can't not like the Steelers in their history, right? They got a really great history. They've always been a tough team. Their coach, Tomlin, is a great coach. Love the man. But they are just not the team that they used to be. I think ever since they got rid of Ben Roethlisberger as their quarterback, and when he retired, it was time for him to retire, they haven't really done a good job of replacing him. But the Jets, on the other hand, are just terrible. In my opinion, the worst team in the National Football League. So, all that being said, I think we're going to see, again, a low-scoring game, potentially, maybe 10-7, 10-9, somewhere along those lines. And the Steelers, I think, will come away with the win in New York. Which is interesting. They call the New York Jets, but for some of you who potentially don't know, they play in East Rutherford, New Jersey, so not actually in New York. The next game on the list, I think, will be another one that, it's a conference game. It's the NFC East. It is the New York Giants against the Washington Commanders. And Washington has had a really, really, really good team. As of last year, they had a great team. And I think they're going to have a good team this year as well. I think it might be a little bit of a setback from last year. But they're going to start out the year with a conference win. They will beat the Giants, and we're probably looking at 31-24 with the Commanders winning this game. So I think if you're a Commanders fan or a Giants fan, I think you'll both be happy with the way this game is played. But somebody's going to win, and it's going to be the Commanders. The next game is the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos. So Denver Broncos last year showed us that they've got a pretty good team, pretty damn good team, and they play some good defense. And the Tennessee Titans kind of showed us that, maybe they've got the second worst team in the NFL. All that being said, I think what you can look at is you can look at the Titans to lose this one, and I don't think it'll be close. I really don't. I think the Broncos will probably score, in that 31, 33 point range, and the Titans may get 7 or 10. So it's going to be kind of a blowout there. Broncos win. Next game. Next game is going to be a fun game. It is the Texans, and they're going to be playing at the Rams. So Texans at the Rams, and Texans got a good team. They really do. Rams got a good team. They really do. I think Texans are on their way up. Rams are sort of peaked and potentially on their way down. The Rams have a really good coach. So Sean McVay is their coach. Excellent, excellent coach. And they're going to find a way to pull out the win. And I think this one is going to be a shootout as well. Possibly somewhere in that 35, 31, somewhere in there range. And they will find a way to pull out that win. Start off the season at 1-0. So, the next game is kind of near and dear to my heart because, again, I mentioned I am a Bucs fan, and I am really excited about who the Bucs picked for their number 1 pick this year in the draft. They picked a wide receiver named Emeka Egbuka, right? And this kid is outstanding, right? Number 2, that's his number. He just changed it. Preseason he was wearing number 9. Number 2 was taken up by their backup quarterback. Backup quarterback got cut. Number 2 became available. Emeka Egbuka grabbed the number. He is number 2 on the Buccaneers, and he is a great, great wide receiver. So, obviously, the wide receiver on the Buccaneers is Mike Evans and Baker as a quarterback. Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, Bucky Urban as a running back. They're going to take this game, and it's going to be a statement game for them. The Falcons beat them twice last year. Twice, with Kirk Cousins at the helm. Kirk is no longer playing in the NFL. He's sort of sitting on the outside looking in. At some point this year, will he play? Potentially. But for now, he's not. And in this game, it's going to be a statement win for the Bucks. I'm thinking somewhere around the 38-point range to maybe 14, somewhere along there. So a good, at least 3 touchdown win. They're gonna take it to them. So Buccaneers will start out 1-0, Falcons 0-1. The next game is interesting, which is the Dolphins and the Colts, and they'll be playing in Indianapolis, at the Colts. And the Dolphins, they're a funny team because, a few years ago they had a much better team than they have now, and there's a lot of shenanigans going on with that Miami team. But I think what they're going to do this Sunday is they're going to find out a way to win that game at the Colts. Low-scoring game, potentially 17-14, and I do think that the Dolphins come out with the win there in Indianapolis. So close to the Chevrolet team. So, the next game on the list goes down to the Cardinals and the Saints. And so we talked about the worst team, the Jets, and we talked about, the second worst team, the Raiders. Well, the third worst team, in my estimation, is the Saints. And the Cardinals are at the Saints, at New Orleans, and the Cardinals will come out of this with a win, probably somewhere around 24-7. Something like that, I'm not exactly sure, but it won't be close, and the game won't be close throughout the whole game. It'll be over with pretty much as soon as they kick off. So in that game, the Saints will lose, Cardinals will come out on top, and we go on to the 15th game on the NFL schedule, and that is the Panthers at the Jaguars. So this will be a battle of the cats, right? Panthers, Jaguars. Well, the Jaguars picked up a new offensive coordinator this year, and he was the offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers last year. And I think that it's finally time for the Jaguars to live up to where they should be. And the Panthers, maybe that 4th worst team in the NFL, not looking all that great. They will probably be in it for the first half. After that, it's going to be over with. The Jaguars are going to move on, and they're going to take that game again, probably by a couple of touchdowns, maybe 28-14, somewhere along those lines. And the last game on the list is an interesting one, right? Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. And it's interesting because Cleveland has been playing pretty good football. And again, this is a conference game where, nice, 140, I love that. So it's a conference game where they're playing the AFC North, and Cincinnati had a poor year last year. They started out the season really terribly and came back the last half of the season, got a bunch of wins, and kind of showed that, okay, these guys aren't washed up. They just had some bad luck, and they really did. But they're going to be coming out of the gate against the Browns. They'll be playing in Cleveland, and again, this is going to be one of those statement games where if the game looks like it's won in the third quarter and it's already a 3-touchdown lead by Cincinnati, they're just going to step on the gas and they'll make it a 5-touchdown lead. It's going to be terrible. So if you're a Browns fan, which I know a few, sorry, but it's not going to be good. You're going to start out 0-1 and the Bengals 1-0. Joe Burrow will shine, which he pretty much always does. Great kid. Again, watch the Netflix series Quarterback, and you'll get a lot more input on what he's actually like as a person. So, those are it. Week 1. Let's see how I make out. I want to see if I can beat the pros. Maybe not at darts, but at football picks. Tim the Dart Man, let me know what you think.